Welcome to Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium, home to the East Carolina Pirates, where the purple has engulfed this place as they are ready for a showdown. This matchup today, part of the lifeblood of the sport, a rivalry game where the results will be remembered for a lifetime. As we'll see the number 19 team in the country, the NC State Wolfpack, taking on the 16th ranked team in the land, the East Carolina Pirates. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, can't wait to get this one started. NC State will kick off, and that'll get things underway. And he hauls it in, and everybody's on the edge of their seats. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. So East Carolina's offense will get the first crack at it here. These rivalry games can really get the blood pumping, and we'll see who can manage their emotions best early.
Everyone's been waiting for this game, right? You know, both of these teams have had this game circled all the way back to the beginning of the offseason, so you got to be able to play under control.
With passion, with energy, with hatred, because it's a rivalry game, they'll keep your emotions in check and making sure I'm controlling what I can control.
On the option. Still running up for 40. And he put his foot in the ground and turned it upfield and turned it into a big play. Great decision to keep it. Looking to throw, it's my way. Got it set up on the outside. He makes the stop, but a nice pickup there on first down. Leaves them in second and manageable. Running backs on either side of the quarterback. Goes to the option. And maybe they want to try somewhere else because there is nothing doing in the middle of this defense. Coming to the line of scrimmage on third down. They'll run the option. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. And the Pirates send out the punt unit. He ought to be able to use this first punt to pin him deep. And the punt will hit at the one, just a little too far for them to be able to down it. It'll be a touchback and come out to the 20. So NC State's offense has its first opportunity of the day. As we take a look at our impact players for this one, what are you looking for, Jesse, for a guy to make an impact?
Well, these are simply put the leaders of this football team, and generally games go how these guys play. If they make plays, then they've got a shot to win this one.
No doubt, they got to show up. These are the team leaders. These guys have to play well if they're going to win the football game.
They're going to ride this running back. They pick up half of it. It'll be 2nd and 5. Win with the running game on first down, now back at it. Caught in the backfield. It's Scott. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Let's see what they do on third down. From the gun, wants to pass. Receiver looks it in, it's complete. And the defense makes the immediate tackle, but he has enough for the first down. On the ground, it's Scott. You'll take this every time. 5 yards on the first down play. They'll go to work on second down after doing damage on the ground. From the gun, the running back has it. And they'll bring him down, but not before he picks up the first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. They'll ride the running back and leave it with him. We had a barn burner the last time these two teams played, and no reason to expect anything else between these two bitter rivals.
Attention to detail, and I think the sense of urgency, David, in a game like this just goes way up.
And I think managing the emotions in these type of games, you know last year was a classic. Now you're trying to form this year's identity of this team and go out and get a win in a big-time rivalry game.
The Wolfpack will have to bring the punt team onto the field. First punt of the day, and he'd love to lock them up close to their goal line. Make sure that there's not going to be a return on this one. Ball's out of bounds, and I think they'll mark it right around the 25. Wasting no time throwing on this drive. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be second down. Looking for a man. It's Mawe. Dumps it off in the flats. He's brought down, but he went backwards after that completion, not the way they had it drawn up. If they can convert here, that type of play can really give you a shot of momentum. On third and long, you'll have to turn it loose deep. And he was drilled just as he released the pass. It's incomplete. The Pirates will call on their punt team. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. He gets a block. Coverage team gets the job done, and they'll mark him down at the 38-yard line. NC State sending the offense back onto the field. And he'll pick up one. It brings up 2nd and 9. Got a little work done on first down, now back to the line. He's looking to throw. Finds his man in the middle. And the catch was one thing, and the run even better. A big pickup on that one. From the 44-yard line, the offense snaps it on first down.
When you play zone coverage and you got a wide receiver that's a beast, it becomes very, very difficult. Got to make sure I play physical and maybe even shade the side of the wide receiver having a lot of success.
They'll line up for a second down play. He's looking to throw. Got it behind the line. It's Boston. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain. They line up with some serious work to do if they want to convert this one. Trying to move the sticks on third down through the air. And the incomplete pass will bring up fourth down. Looks as if NC State will have to punt it away. He'll try to really get into this one. And the punt goes out of bounds. We'll see where the officials spot it, but they certainly gave him no opportunity for a return. He wastes no time and comes out throwing. They get enough rush, and it pays off. The sack at the 20.
There's something you don't see very often. A sack on a screen pass. You know, quarterbacks are taught to hold the ball, and then get rid of it right before the rush gets to you, but that time, I think he just held on to it a little too long.
So now they're staring at a 2nd and long from their 20. Motion trying to get the defense to show his hand. Gets it to the back. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground cover to pick up the first. Time winding down in the quarter as they come to the line. Catch in the middle, it's Smith. They make the stop, and that will likely bring us to the end of the first quarter. And the Pirates will punt it away on fourth down. It has been all defense all the time in the early going as we wrap up the first quarter, and the stats certainly reflect that. Let's see if the offenses can find a little rhythm here in the second. The Pirates will try to pin them back with the punt. He's got it. Everybody stays in their lanes well enough, and they stop him at the 31-yard line. North Carolina State has it back in the offense, headed to the field. They'll try the run. Finding a way to put that foot in the ground and get it up to the 37-yard line. Got 6 on first down. Now a lot of options on 2nd and 4. From the gun, the running back looking for room. And he gets it to the 45-yard line, and that'll be a first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. He wants to throw. He just never got started going forward. A huge loss of 8 on the play. Second down coming up. Moving the running back, trying to get the D to tip its hand. Using the quick game. They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks. The D thinking bring some heat on 3rd and long from the 44. Pocket starts to collapse. Just too much juice on that one as he airmails his receiver out of bounds. NC State to bring the punt team onto the field. No fair catches here, looking for room. Couldn't get away from that cover team, and they've got him down at the 23. East Carolina has it back, and the Purple Pirate offense will go to work. They've hit a bit of a lull here, and they need to get things cranked. And the Heat gets there, and they get it down at the 14-yard line. They were trying to get the screen set up, but it just took a little too long to develop.
Yeah, and the quarterback's supposed to, invite those guys to run upfield on a screen pass, but they got to him so fast he couldn't get rid of the football, and they got the sack.
They'll try to find a more productive play this time on 2nd and long from the 14. Back to throw, it's Mawe. He's right on target. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a first down. On 3rd and long, try to convert through the air. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a 4th down. And the Pirates decide to punt it away. He's getting a lot of work. 4th time he's punted tonight. The coverage team was down there to corral him. They made the stop, and they'll mark it at the 39. NC State sending the offense back onto the field. From the gun, they'll try the middle. Really nice stop there from this senior leader. Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. Looking for a crease. It's Manziel. Stop just across the 50 at the 49-yard line. It's a pickup of 10 and a first down. 2 running backs alongside the quarterback. Here's a quick throw out to the left.
Yeah, and you see running backs in today's football, they play a wide receiver basically for you, but you got to find a guy that you can throw it to, and you know he's going to catch the ball consistently.
Here comes the option. Now the pitch. Perfectly timed on that pitch, and they pick up the first down on the play. Finally, this offense starting to show a little juice. They've got a 1st and 10. Quickly out to the tight end. And they'll finally get him down after a terrific pickup. NC State with the 1st and 10 here. On the option. Plows through the defense. He's brought down, but he's got him inside the 10. 1st and goal from the 8. The offense threatening. Close to the end zone now with a new set of downs. The option look. The pitch. They get him on the ground at the 3-yard line, but this defense is taking some punches. Now on 2nd and goal. Moving the running back, forcing the defense to adjust. He pushes it forward all the way to the 2-yard line. A 3rd and goal call here from the 2. Let's see if they can finish the deal. They'll run it. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Wolfpack! They can use this first score to sort of set the tone, guys, in this rivalry matchup.
Man, doesn't this feel good to come out, score early, get the crowd involved, get the nerves out of the way, Palmer, when you're playing in a big rivalry game?
Yeah, and I feel like momentum's always a big thing in any game, but in rivalry games, it's that much more important because everybody is going to feed off that first score now.
And the extra point is good, and it's 7-0. That touchdown drive covered 61 yards and finished the deal with the short touchdown run from the 2. He'll start the return inside his 5. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. East Carolina sending the offense back to work. Handoff to the lone back. Nice move to keep running. He found a hole, got about 5. He's down at the 21. The clock has reached the 2-minute mark, and they have a chance to at least cut into this lead before the break. Right through his hands and incomplete, and he'll want that one back. It'll be 3rd down. They've already punted 4 times in this game, and they're about to run the guy out there for a 5th time if they don't pick up the first down here. And the defense makes a play, sacking him back at the 10. Timeout called here by the defense. It's their first of the half. The Pirates will punt this one away. 3 and out. They got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. He's got great speed. He's brought down, but a really solid effort to pick up every bit of yardage he could on the punt return. Offense getting set for first down. He's going to pass. And they got him for the sack.
I love the defensive effort there. They didn't get him right away. They stayed after him. He was scrambling, going backwards. They get the sack on the first play of the drive.
After the big first down sack, it's second down. He's looking to throw. Tight end finds a soft spot. They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks. On third down, he drops the throw. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. The Wolfpack will line up to punt it away. 3 and out and not much choice but to get rid of the ball. Takes it on the return. Pretty solid coverage there, and they'll stop him at the 26. Offense in a split backfield. To throw, it's Mawe. It's incomplete, and trust me, you will not see that very often from this guy. It's second down. Misfired on the last play. They'll go back to the air. And he dropped it. Just didn't hook the thing all the way in. They're going to keep this drive going. They'll have to make a play on third and long from the 26. Keeps it on the bootleg. That's caught. It's Smith. The defense going to stop the clock with a timeout. They want to make sure they have everybody on the same page. And the Pirates line up to punt it away. And he's going to get it up to about the 29-yard line before he's brought down. 3 tight ends in the formation on first and 10. The give on the inside. That's what you expect from a senior. Don't give them any extra yards. Great tackle there. Now on second down. First half in the books. Time now to join Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Thanks so much, guys. And I need not tell you, rivalry games always bring out a ton of emotion. And no surprise, we saw just that in the first half today. And I get it. A lot of coaches will say the difference between winning and losing comes down to stopping big plays and getting big plays. But if you ask me, it's more about how good you are on third down and how efficient you are in keeping drives alive. Those two stats can help you break the will of even the best defenses and help you come out on top. That said, let's get back to the field and our guys in the booth to see who comes out on top of this rivalry contest.
And they'll bring him down to get the offense started on the next drive. They'll come out on this drive and let it rip. The freshman just a little too much on that one. And the incompletion brings up a second down for this offense. He's looking to throw. And the quarterback goes down at the 11-yard line.
And the defense comes up with the sacks. And this defense has been dialed in all day. Really, really good job. This offense is going to have to find something different, do something to try to stretch this D and make them feel uncomfortable.
You make up the game plan and not a lot on the play sheet for this. Third and long from inside their own 20. He's looking downfield to throw. And the ball is picked off. Oh, how did you make that move? Oh, that was a terrific return as he takes it to the 9.
I love when people start to understand what we're doing defensively. If they're going to pass the football and that's where they're going to live, well, I'm going to live in dime. I'm going to bring more defensive backs on the field so I can cover more of these speed guys that they have out there. Great job on the defensive back, breaking on the football, making the INT, making the DC look very smart.
The Pirates have it in scoring position on first and goal. Wide receiver coming across in motion. To the air, it's Mawe. Unleashes to the end zone. And he's got it! Touchdown, East Carolina!
That is exactly what most offenses will do. Big momentum play. My defense creates a turnover. I'm being aggressive. I'm going for the big score, the big play down the field. They get rewarded. They get the big passing touchdown.
He'll try to tack on one more. And the extra point was made without incident, and we're tied up here in the third. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Guys, the big top 15 battle is underway, and it's been very interesting so far. Oregon has some work to do, but go against this team at your own risk. The program who played in the first ever CFB championship is always a threat to come back. They're trailing by just 4 to USC. We'll circle back if anything big happens in this college football matchup.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. Motion from the offense. On second down, wants to throw. Oh, did he find a hole in the defense? Ripped off a huge chunk play on that one as he gets the first down before he steps out of bounds.
Man, if I'm a defense, I got to find a way to get some more pressure on the quarterback or disrupt their timing and their rhythm. I can't give them these big chunk plays through the air. I got to be maybe a little bit more aggressive or do something a little bit different.
He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. Let's see what they've got on second down. Looking for space. It's Manziel. That play just never had a chance. They knock him down for a loss of 5. This is a third and long. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. And this is going to be incomplete on third. The Wolfpack will have to bring the punt team onto the field. They may have to pay him overtime. He's punting for the 5th time today. And that punt will sail out of bounds. Let's see where the officials spot it.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. So the offense keeps its drive alive thanks to the roughing the punter penalty. Running back searching for a hole.
I never know if it's grammatically correct to say a team is being out-physicaled. You hear it a lot in football, though. That's happening in this game. They are just not getting the push they need all game long up front to have any success when they decide to run it.
Listen, you got to be able to know what play to call and what hole to go through. Like the line blocks for a certain hole. Good job getting through the hole, getting what was blocked, getting a nice positive gain, making your situation really good on the next down.
Really nice run there. Good, solid pickup, and they'll move the sticks with a first down. North Carolina State defining efficiency on this drive. They'll give it to the back. Fights his way ahead. They get him down after a pickup of 3. They'll mark it at the 12. It'll be second down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. Wide receiver shows motion. Got him looking run. He wants to throw. Takes a hit as he fires. That pass is incomplete, and they might be fortunate it wasn't knocked free for a fumble. It'll be third down. From the gun, wants to pass. Fires into the end zone. It falls incomplete. He was trying to find this man for 6. He'll have to settle for a field goal attempt. Thought he had it and couldn't get it through the uprights. He missed it. And after the missed field goal, guys, we are still locked up.
And that's just a chip shot. That's just a field goal they got to make, guys.
East Carolina has it back, and the Purple Pirate offense will go to work. And in a low-scoring game like this one, David, every possession is magnified.
And I think more than anything, it just gets frustrating. And you got to put that behind you. You got to see what this defense has been doing to be so successful. Palmer, now use it against them.
Yeah, David, I think for a play caller, this is tough, right? It's like you have to have the perfect...
And And the heat gets there, and they get him down at the 14-yard line.
Well, this game really has turned into a defensive struggle, and both defenses right now are just absolutely dominating. That time, nice job using his pass rush moves, getting to the quarterback, and they just look like they cannot be blocked right now up front.
This defense has kept them backed up. Now one more stop, and they can get off the field on 3rd and long. On the move, he fires. And a missed opportunity on 3rd down as the defense knocks it free, and 4th down is coming up. Slips through the line, and the punt team able to sling him to the ground. North Carolina State has it back in the offense, headed to the field. The sledding has been tough. Scores have been at a premium, Jesse, and every possession seems like it could switch the momentum of the game.
Yeah, Reese, for this offense, just feels like they just haven't been as physical. And for this offensive coordinator, David, he's having to go deep into the playbook just to try to generate a 1st down.
Well, and the good thing is there's not a ton of game pressure because the other side's not scoring either.
And the quarterback is snowed under.
The defense continues to have a great game. Both defenses have played well. These offenses are going to have to change something up, protect their quarterbacks a little bit better.
I'm not positive, but that 1st down marker might be in the next county. On 3rd and long, a check down would be the last resort. And here comes the pressure, and there he goes down again.
Yeah, and the defensive lineman, you know, 3rd and long situations, I'm rushing the quarterback. You bring in the nickel, a little bit more speed on the field, and the defensive line gets home and gets the sack on 3rd down.
Looks as if NC State will have to punt it away. Doesn't say much for your drive when you're looking forward to the punt. He'll get away another punt. He's been really active today, and no doubt he's going to earn his varsity letter. Excellent coverage that time. Didn't give him any room to set up a big return. He'll start this drive firing. Get it out on the screen. Runs through the tackle. He's run out of bounds, but a big play on that one, and it'll be a 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Motion by the back forces the defense to adjust. A little screen to the running back. And they wrap him up, but not before he gets enough on the catch for the 1st down. They'll operate out of split backs. Scanning the field, it's Mawe. Using the back as a receiver on the screen. And he'll run across the sidelines after the good gain. Trying to get a rhythm in the passing game, now on 2nd down. He's looking to throw. And the quarterback will take a sack back at the 36.
As a defensive end, trust me, I was a defensive end, I can tell you. You start getting a little lathered up. Now you got your 2nd sack. It's only the 3rd quarter. Your eyeballs are getting big. This is going to be one of those days. I'm going to get me 3. I'm going to get me 4. Shoot, I might even get me 5.
They line up, and it is a long way to the sticks from here. The back goes in motion. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to throw for it. And the defense gets loose, bringing the heat, and down he goes again.
Man, I think this quarterback needs to take his offensive line out for dinners more often because they're not protecting him. And sometimes it doesn't even look like they're trying. That now the 6th sack of the game for this defense.
And the Pirates will bring the punt team onto the field. Make sure that there's not going to be a return on this one. Ball's out of bounds, and I think they'll mark it right around the 25. From the shotgun, they'll run it. And they get him on the ground, and that'll probably do it for the 3rd quarter. Here comes the offense on 2nd down. What a ride. It's been through the first 3 quarters of this game. We are all tied up. Let's check out some stats. These two teams about to find out what they're made of as we open the 4th all tied up. Trying play action. And the defense gets to the quarterback.
This quarterback is thinking to himself, I need to get an NIL deal at some restaurant so I can take my offensive line out and feed them more, because I don't think they like me very much right now. I've been sacked 6 times in this game. It's time to get that new NIL deal paycheck.
Ball's at the 29. Defense can taste getting off the field. It's 3rd and long. They'll leave it with him. And sure, tackling there to keep him from getting to the first down marker. NC State to bring the punt team onto the field. And these guys have been busy. 6th punt of the day. Fields the punt and tries to work it the other way. That nifty return sets up the offense and negates some of the yardage on the punt. East Carolina sending the offense back to work. They just didn't quite find the rhythm on that last drive. And the pressure gets to him. Down goes the quarterback.
The defense has been so dominant up front. You've seen it in these passing situations. That now the 7th sack of the game.
Second down now after the sack. Pre-snap motion, quarterback trying to get a read. Got his man on the outside. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a first down. A 3rd and long coming up here. Looking for a man. It's Mawe. Makes the grab down the middle. And he's not going to get there. The defense stands tall and makes the stop. A tie game here late, and they do not want to give up this football. And it's intercepted. Oh, what a big play in a tie game. Knocked down quickly after the pick, but that offense says thank you very much, and they'll have it at the 43. And now the offense will come onto the field again. From the gun, he leaves it with the back. Able to pick his way forward for a decent game before the defense gets him down. Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. And he drops it just a little too slippery in the hands. What they would give to help their kicker out with a few yards on 3rd down. From here, it would be a 55-yarder. That'll be enough for the first down as they mark it down at the 31-yard line. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. From the gun, the give, looking for room.
You want to talk about making it easy for an offensive coordinator. You pick up a bunch of yards on first down, make that second down really, really manageable. That's a great job by the offense.
Finds a little bit of room, give him a couple down to the 23. Headed to the line at the 23, trying to convert this 3rd and short. They'll try to run for it. Tackle is made, but not until he gets the first down. North Carolina State defining efficiency on this drive. Off the play fake on first down to throw. The freshman quarterback very fortunate for that one to fall incomplete. After the quarterback and receiver failed to hook up, they'll try it again on 2nd down. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. And they have converted their first 2 3rd down opportunities, but this one a 3rd and long. Here comes the rush, and they've got him wrapped up at the 28.
I think this quarterback now at this point is looking over the sideline saying, hey, can we just not throw it anymore? I mean, my guys, they can't block for me. I've got no chance back here. We need to just run the ball from this point out.
So here we are on 4th down, and this field goal kicker is going to face all the pressure in the world. No good. After the miss, here in the fourth quarter, still deadlocked.
Just have to wonder about the headspace this kid is in right now. That's now his second missed kick. If he had made that one, they would have had the lead. He needs to go clear the cobwebs on the sideline, get his confidence going.
East Carolina has it back, and the Purple Pirate offense will go to work. After that last pick, David, they really need to take care of the ball this time.
No doubt. And Palmer, I want to know what Spurrier said to you on the sideline after a pick.
Do that again, and you'll be right here beside me for the rest of the game. You got to go out. You got to call your plays. And I hope this coaching staff isn't going to be afraid to throw at this drive.
A little pre-snap eye candy for the defense. Flips it out to the back. The defense wouldn't let him loose, and even though it's a completion, they lost yardage. Now facing a 3rd and long. Looking to throw, it's Mawe. Got his man quickly. Good tackle there to stop him short of the first down. It'll bring up a big decision. The Pirates will send out the punt unit. Makes a move. That's a perfect example of not settling for a fair catch. Pick up whatever yardage you can and help out the offense. Touch pass on the jet sweep. He is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose yards on that one. The clock stops. 2 minutes left to play in this one. He's looking for a man on 2nd down. Got out of trouble, got rid of it. And he had it for a second, but it just dribbled out of his hands. 3rd down conversions are a huge stat, and this one would be a doozy if they can pull it off. And he's not going to make it. The defense denying him the first down. The Wolfpack will line up to punt it away. He's going to try to flip the field with this one. Here's the return. Pretty solid coverage there, and they'll stop him at the 26. 1st down here for the offense. He wants to start this drive with a pass. And the pressure will get there. The sack. Down he goes in the waiting moments. That could be a costly play.
Man, a lot of coaches talk about starting the drive positive and a first play that can get you going. The QB just kept backing up and going backwards, and that is not the start to the drive they were looking for.
They need something that goes forward this time on 2nd and long from the 14. He's looking to throw. He let that thing fly quickly, but he couldn't make the connection. Not exactly the ideal situation for this offense. 3rd and long, backed up inside their 20. Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. And they fail to hook up on 3rd down. And the Pirates will line up to punt it away. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. He only needs a sliver of daylight. And the returner will be brought down. NC State sending the offense back onto the field. After a punt on their last possession, they are set up in plus territory this time.
And honestly, it wouldn't have mattered if they scored a touchdown their last possession. You've got to be able to turn the page and see this as a brand new opportunity to go get points.
Yeah, and your defense has set you up for in a position to get points right away. Now, let's get this offense back rolling again, create some momentum, just get a few first downs, and I'm in scoring position.
Quick timeout by the defense there, trying to make sure everyone has the same call. They can really be aggressive after that last play at 2nd and 3. Right back to the well. NC State will pick up the first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Using his legs, it's Manziel. Really nice stop there from this senior leader. And they'll send out the kicker to try a field goal. And he's already missed a couple, but nobody will remember if this one is true. Good! They win it as time expires on a walk-off field goal.
East Carolina, 7.
bitterly disappointing start to the season as they can't come up with a W and open 0-1.
There's still so much room to improve for this football team. I know this is not the performance they were expecting here today, but there were plays to be made on the field. And David, I think moving forward, this team just has to do a better job executing.
Yeah, and when you see it on tape, and your coach has been preaching all camp about the mistakes, but now it's real. Now you got a loss attached to it, but a lot of conference play still ahead, a lot of opportunities to still have a successful season.
That's going to do it for us from here. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.